I'm going to preview the 4 seed Arizona State versus the 5 seed Texas football game, which will be played January 1st at noon Central Time on ESPN. And as of right now, Texas is favored by 14 points. And as they should be, in my opinion. And it's at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. So technically, Texas is closer, and they played in that football stadium recently. So I don't think the the stadium's going to get to Texas's head from the SEC title game. I just don't think that's going to be the case. And I will say, Texas did have a few offensive linemen hurt. And we'll see about the star running back. And I do not know the injury status at this. For both of these teams going into this. But one thing is for certain, Arizona State will be without their best wide receiver for the year. If they had him, I would think they would get a little bit better shot to win. But that's a who knows situation if Arizona State did have the best wide receiver. And I will put the stats in the description below so y'all could see it. Okay, so I'm going to go with the higher seed in Arizona State to go over the stats. And as we all know, Arizona State was picked 16th in the Big 12 this year, as in dead last. Yet, they won the Big 12. They are 11-2. The only 2 losses, Texas Tech, aim 4 team, I get it. It's Cincinnati. They were 5-7. Now, Texas, as we all know, is a 12-2. They lost to Georgia twice. That's all they have done. That's just telling the truth. And Arizona State 7-2 in the Big 12 this year, while Texas is 7-1 in the Big 12. On any SEC, not Big 12. Apologize if I'm looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. So anyway, Arizona State offensively averages 33.1 points per game, or 33.08, but you get the whole point, while allowing 21.31. First downs, 286 for Arizona State, 267 for the opponent. Rushing yards per game, 198.8 in that offensively, and it's all because of Cam Scatterboo. He's not just a threat in the running game, but as a wide receiver as well. 117.8 rushing yards per game allowed. Passing yards, 224.38, while allowing 219.15. Time possession, 32 minutes, 13 seconds on offense, 27 minutes, 47 seconds on the defense. Third down, 46.51% on 172 attempts on offense, 42.61% on defense on 176 attempts. That number could be better, to be honest. Fourth down, 53.3333% on repeating 3 basically on 30 attempts, 50% on fourth down on 22 attempts. Now, I will go over like sacks and all that on defense and across the board for both of these teams. You got to be good on special teams. Those hidden yards do matter. Making those extra points do matter. Making field goals do matter. Having good punts, good punt returns. They do matter, and don't have special teams blunders. I'm just saying, because, that could be the difference in the ballgame sometimes. Well, Arizona State defensively, 57 tackles for loss, while they only allow 57 all year. 21 sacks, which is a low number for the defense, and 18 allowed. So that's not a bad number on offense. It's just a defensive number. That's a problem, in my opinion. 15 interceptions on defense, which Texas is turnover prone. I go over their numbers in a second. And 5 interceptions by the offense, 49 pass breakups slash passes defended. On defense, 32 allowed. 48 quarterback hurries by the defense, 29 allowed. 7 fumbles recovered out of all year. And 3 recovered by the opposing team against them. And they blocked 1 kick on defense while allowing 2 block kicks. Now, Texas, 33.93 points per game. 13.29 points per game allowed. First downs, 317 for Texas offensively, 216 for Texas defensively allowed. Rushing yards per game, 173.5 on offense, 104.5 on defense. Passing yards per game, 275.36 on offense, 156.86 on defense. So that is a little bit of a concern when you're going against Cam Scatterboot. A little bit of a concern. Now, time possession, 30 minutes, 31 seconds on offense, 29 minutes, 29 seconds on defense. 43.62% on third down on 188 attempts on offense, 30.21% on defense on 192 attempts, 53.57% on fourth down for the offense on 28 attempts, 46.67 on 30 attempts on defense. Now I'll go over all the sacks and all that and tackles for loss. 103 tackles for loss by the Texas defense while allowing 95. 42 sacks. That's a big number. While allowing 30 sacks. Yeah, that is a little bit of a concern, but against this Arizona State, they're not great in terms of getting sacks and getting pressure. They do have 20 interceptions on defense, but Texas has 15 picks on offense. 12 picks on offense. That's a concern against that Arizona State secondary. 56 pass breakups while allowing 46. 49 quarterback hurries on defense while allowing 33. 9 fumble recoveries on defense while allowing 11. 1 block kick by the defense, 2 of them allowed by the opponent, and 1 safety. So it's obvious what Texas needs to do is shut down Cam Scatterboot or slow him down. Kind of similar to Penn State needing to slow down Ashton Jeanty in a pinch. Similar. You got to make somebody else beat you. It's just telling the truth. And I know that Arizona State's an underdog, but you cannot sleep on them. They've proven people wrong, Texas, this year. And I know they're not, in terms of talent, they're not better than you. But you can't let that be we're going to just cruise in this game all because of talent. You've got to go out there and make plays to win. And yes, there might be some questionable officiating at times, but you just got to get through it. You got to limit penalties for both of these teams. Obviously, you want to try and make the other team one-dimensional and try to take away the strengths. I do think Arizona State could slow down the run, but can they slow down the run potentially? I do think that's a possibility. But I don't know if they could really handle the wide receivers from Texas in the game. That's just telling. You got to be good on third down on offense and defense. You got to limit the turnovers on offense. You got to force the turnovers on defense. Get points out turnovers. You want to limit points out turnovers. I already mentioned it. And you got to limit the penalties as much as possible. And you cannot make a penalty on a third down. Especially like a personal foul, roughing the passer, or pass interference on the defense type of situation. And you can't be intimidated by the other team, especially if you're Arizona State going in this game. You can't be intimidated by Texas. Period. I already kind of mentioned the special teams. You got to be good on special teams. You got to be good as much as possible. Don't have kicks out of bounds or a lot of big returns to happen. Because, I know it's a different game and all, but SMU had a kickoff. They allowed Clemson to get in field goal range, in good field position, and then set up for the win with the 56-yard field goal. Of course, you got to make your field goals in this game here. Now, who do I think is going to win? I admit, Texas' best win is probably Clemson now. They are the best win. And I do think Arizona State's better than them. I do. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why Texas is favored by 14. Texas is going to win. Whether they cover or not, that's a totally different question. And y'all could debate that in the debate that if you want to. And the truth is, Arizona State has nothing to lose here. They're not expected to win. I mean, and it would really help the Big 12 if they win a college football playoff game against a team that they shouldn't. But if this was against Clemson instead of Texas, I would have thought possibly Arizona State would win the game. But this is Texas. I'm not giving them a chance. I give them like 20% or less to win the game. I'm sorry, Arizona State fans, but it's just reality about this. But maybe they could prove me wrong. That I just don't see it personally. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. This is why we play the games. And yes, I know some of those college football playoff games were blowouts. But who else would you have put in? I mean, over SMU. You can't put a 3-loss Alabama, especially with 2 6-6 losses, including a beatdown against Oklahoma. I mean, South Carolina has 3 losses. They lost to LSU, and they lost 2 other games as well. I mean, do you really want to put Miami, Florida into? But that's the different can of worms. But I do think Texas wins this game. It's a matter of will they cover or not. I just don't trust Arizona State to win, period. Even though it would help the conference, I know, as like a fan of the Big 12 here, I'm just being realistic. Texas is a better football team. And only if they didn't lose to Georgia, they would be the 2 seed. Let's just be honest. And obviously, Texas, you cannot play like you did in that stadium last time. You just can't. Yeah, you could get yards, but if you only hold them to 3 points, I mean, and the offense only gets 3 points on a good drive, you're keeping them in the game. I mean, it's just telling the truth, and you got to be good in the red zone as well for both of these teams on offense and defense. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, this is why we play the football games here. But I do think Texas wins this game. It's a matter of will they cover or not. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 7 subscribers. Course ultimate goal is 1,000 more. Some more money after this course like video. Comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. So more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch. If you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe button, free notification bell as well.